Hello everyone, welcome to a new process video. I want to say this is my first real video back doing recording after going through my previous stockpile, so I'm a little nervous. I feel a little out of practice, but I'm hoping if I start with this, it'll kind of ease my way back into things. And what I'm starting with is my hybrid album that I did using Canva to design all of my layouts. Every layout in this album is a 4x8. So what I want to do today is show you a lot of the templates that I used. I have some here and just go over some like quick basic instructions. I'm also going to link some videos below of tutorials on YouTube by other people that explain how to use Canvas in a very basic way. They've done it far better than I could do it. Why recreate the wheel if it's already out there? So I'll link those for you. And then I wanted to just show you this. This is one set that I bought, and you can see how many come in here. It was 25 templates. The Etsy seller is called My Sweet Kate. I will also link that below so that if you like the look of these templates and you want to try them, you can find them. And what I love about it is they're so easy to use, and look at all the different patterns you get, but you can also manipulate these pretty much any way you want. So I do want to say, when you look at templates, it's kind of hard to see. This is somewhat small, but you get the idea that they're built-in shapes or boxes that you can either use for text or for photo. You can change anything on here that's text to any font you want. You can also change it to any color that you want. So everything's going to come in black and white pretty much, but you can change whatever you want. You can also change size, whether that's font, whether that's the size of these boxes. Everything is completely able to be manipulated. So that's one of the reasons why I love having these now, is because they may look like this at the start, but that doesn't mean I have to keep them that way. And you'll notice as I go through my album, a lot of them I did change because maybe the size wasn't quite right, or I didn't like the way it's positioned, or there was text in there and I didn't need another text box. So that's a beautiful thing about digital, is you can make it whatever you want. With all that being said, this is the album I've chosen. This is a Life Crafted album, and I don't remember the color. I want to say maybe marigold? I'm not positive. They have a couple yellows, and I'm not sure. I don't remember exactly which one this is, or maybe sunshine or something like that, but it's from Life Crafted, and I have taken all of the layouts that I showed in my prep video, and they are already dropped in here in the correct order. My hope is that I will get through layouts 1 through 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 today, because really all I'm doing is embellishing. I've done everything else in Canva that I needed to do. So it should be pretty straightforward. So an opening page and then basically 4 other layouts. Another thing I want to point out is that when you're using Canva, you don't have to just use what they give you. For instance, on this layout, this is pretty much the way the layout came, and I left some room to embellish here. This is a digital element that I added. I think it's from Citrus Twist. It was part of a digital pack I bought. I just took that and imported it, dropped it right into Canva. You can do that with pretty much everything. As long as it's a file type that is supported by Canva, you can bring that in there and drop in whatever you like. So because this is all a fall album, it goes from sort of early to mid-September all the way to the very beginning of November, if I remember right. So because it's all autumn themed, I have out this bin. All the stuff I need should be in here. I would pull stuff from just my general stash if I had to, but I have so much autumn stuff that I'm really hoping whatever I have in here is enough. Since I'm working on the title page first, I think I want some kind of a tag or something up top here that I can overlay and then just put 2022. I don't think there's enough room to put like September through November. I think just fall 2022, maybe something like that would be enough. And I have a bunch of tags here. Some have things on them already, some are blank. So I'm going to go through there, see what I can find that matches, but then also has enough room. All right, when looking through here, I've changed my mind a little bit. I think I'm going to take this 2-inch circle item that I have and put it right up here at the top, either all the way on or maybe just clip off the very, very top edge. But I'm not losing too much. It's mostly fence back there. So I think I'm going to do that. And then I thought, well, where else can I put the date because I've taken up everything? I think I can do it along the side. And I'm tempted to do white because there's white here, but I'm a little worried about how stark that's going to look against all of this. So I think I'm going to pull out some white number stickers and hold them up and just see what I think. So I have these old letter stickers from Kelly Perky, which is Paper Person now. And in this particular set, I do have enough to do 2022. And when I hold them up here, it looks very bright now, but I think when there's some space between them and that yellow shines through, it'll be okay. So I am going to use these. All right, I have the year attached with those number stickers, and I'm very happy with how those look. I have this on there, and I'm just going to quickly clip off a little extra piece there. And there we go. The first layout is done. So this is a great example of how you can manipulate Canva. This whole thing is actually I think it's a 3x8 digital file that I got from In a Creative Bubble. But I wanted to drop it into 4x8. So I moved it into Canva, I just expanded it. I left a little bit of the gray border at the bottom because I liked that better than just the all white. I just dropped it into the open template that was a full 4x8 with nothing else. And it worked great, super easy. I added in the date here in colored font. Remember when I said, oh, you can change the font to whatever you want? I chose the type that I wanted, or the font and the color, and then I just dropped that in there so that I wouldn't have to stamp it or handwrite it. Now, I did leave these open. I could handwrite in there if I want, or I could put something over it. And I think at the time that I did it, I was thinking I would actually just take a slick writer, check off what I wanted here, and cover this up. Who knows if that's what'll happen, we'll see. And then here, I wanted to be able to fit a pretty good sized embellishment, so that's why there's a lot of blank space there. So I've pulled out a bunch of fall pieces of ephemera, die cuts, whatever you want to call them. They're all from Ellie's studio. So there are some leaves which match really well with what's happening here. Plus I have phrases which might allow me to cover up what's here, and leaves big enough that maybe I can do a little collage or something in here. So I'm just going to play around with what's in there and see what I can create. So I couldn't find everything I needed in just the Ellie Studio stuff, so I pulled out my fall phrases here. I also pulled out this package of ephemera from Rosie's Studio. Floral die cut, 67 pieces. There's a lot in there, and I haven't used a lot of it. Field notes is the line. This kind of gives you an idea of all the stuff that comes in it. But I pulled this from Ellie's Studio, this from Rosie's Studio. These are a mix of things that were in my phrases. And then this, I don't remember what that's a part of. It's a digital file that's actually made to look like torn washi. And I printed them out, there are a bunch of them. And this one just happens to match really well. So I will attach it like that. I'll cut off the end, and I think this one's good to go. All right, so I attached everything here. Everything is adhered down, and I love the way that looks. And it was super simple. Most of the work was already done. Embellishing was quick, and I love that about it. So now this one could go right into the album. So sadly, when I was looking at this, I realized I have a problem. I'm gonna have to fix this one and reprint it because I have a typo. I wanted to use the word perusing, and I spelled it wrong. It's P-E-R, not P-U-R, and I didn't catch it at the time. So that really makes me mad. Granted, these are only like $2 or something to print, but still, I should have checked it, and I try to be meticulous about spell checking, and I just didn't. So this lets you know what it's going to look like. So all I'll end up doing is just changing that word and then reprinting it, but obviously I'm not going to embellish or do anything since I made that mistake. So these are my last two layouts, and they aren't necessarily meant to go together, but they ended up having a very similar color palette. So I'm going to work on them together. And I realized that while this one is from My Sweet Kate, this one isn't. This is from Oh Snap Polly. So I will make sure that her templates are also linked below so that you can find it if you want it. This is one of my favorites. I love the way this looks, and you could leave this blank and use that for an embellishment space instead. And I thought about it, but I decided to do the word instead because I can embellish in other areas. And now that I'm going to work on these at the same time, I have this huge area over here to fill. And I didn't really think about that when I dropped in that patterned paper, digital paper, but I'll figure it out. I'm sure I have plenty of stuff here where I can make this look good together. I picked out some odds and ends here for over the digital purple paper, and then I couldn't figure out what to do with the rest of this. And then I remembered I had this set of stuff from Creative Memories called Secret Garden, and I actually bought 2 packs of this. I remember when it came out because I loved it so much. I've used a lot, but I still have a lot left. And part of what is left are the stickers. Pretty much everything here is too big. Might be able to use some word stickers or phrase stickers, we'll see. But I'm really liking these that look like washi, similar to what I used in a previous layout, and I'm liking the more narrow ones. That might be a little too bold for either side, but we'll see. This one's a little more subtle, but it's almost a more muted purple, which I'm not sure goes almost more like a deep lilac or something, or an antique lilac almost. But maybe this one, look at that. When I take it off of here, look at how pretty that is, and it's relatively narrow. So I might be able to tear it in 2 and maybe use one here or one on this side, then I'd have to go to the bottom. We'll see, but I'm gonna mess around with it. So when I tried out this sticker, I didn't like it at all. Once I saw it against what I had here already, it did not look good. So I decided to go with that darker one after all. And on this side, all I did was add that down here, and I'm gonna leave the rest of it alone. There's a lot happening here. I don't think I need to add anything else. This side, I went a little busier. I added the rest of that sticker up top, a little bit longer piece than what's here, and then did my embellishments. And I wanted to fill up a lot of this space, not all of it, because the point is to see some of it, but I did want to cover a little bit just so that it wasn't glaringly purple with everything else. And now that I have it done, I really like that. So all that's left is to clip off the end here. There we go. And let's just make sure I'm still happy with it. I am. So now I can put those right in the page protectors. They can go right in the album, and it was a pretty easy process. So now that you've seen me put these together, I hope you'll stick around and watch me do the rest of this album. Thanks for watching.